Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Get Your Life Project. I am Sierra. Hello, Tiffany.
Hey, Sierra girl.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How is you?
I am swell.
Splendiferous.
It's nice to see you again, my dear.
It's nice to see you as well.
It's always a pleasure, Mr. Malfoy.
I'm so glad you made it.
Indubitably.
Yes, and that lovely voice you hear in the background, I want to go ahead and welcome back Kelly Daly.
What's up? What's up? What's up? What's going on?
Kelly, before we get started, tell us about your show, because you are also a podcaster.
Yeah. Check Young Thug out at Broke with Culture on SoundCloud and iTunes. And, are we still on Spreaker, Mark? Spreaker. And are we on Google Play? Google Play.
So everything. All of it.
We're on all the platforms. Check me out individually at _incomparable_KD on Instagram. Yeah, Instagram. And the Incomparable KD on Twitter.
Yes. Please. And we are the Get Your Life Project. We talk about all things millennial and the struggles that we face on a day-to-day basis.
Because it's a lot of them. Like, living is a struggle.
Like, just being alive and breathing. Like, breathing in and out can be a struggle sometimes. So, that's what we do. We talk about all that jazz. And today, we're going to be talking about wokeness. Are you woke, Tiffany?
Right now, I am.
You are.
I wasn't a couple hours ago. But I'm pretty woke right now.
Do you come in and out of consciousness?
I do.
Okay. All right.
I slip in and out of it.
Fair enough. Kelly, are you woke?
Very much so. I'm too woke.
You too woke. That shit hurt. When you were like awake. Like, no, I'm serious. That shit hurt. That shit is painful. Like, they say God takes care of babies and fools. And sometimes I wish I was either a fool or a baby, because this real life shit is hard, bro. Like,
you don't feel taken care of.
Nobody say who's taking care of me.
All right. Is that how you decipher whether you a fool or not? I'm like, none of awesome shit is happening to me.
Like, you go to college, get a degree, they still trying to give you entry level jobs. That means you woke because you know that you deserve more. Like, that shit hurt.
Straight
but you still went. You know it's a scam.
Yeah, that means you weren't awake because somebody talked you into that shit real easy. Like, just go to college. That's gonna make sense.
Right, because followers go to college.
Followers, I am a follower. I am a reformed follower because I'm thinking about going back to college.
No, not followers. I said if all of us go to college, somebody's not like gonna benefit from it. Like when things are just the norm, it's just like, or like super obtainable, it kind of like waters it down.
I'm done. So you mean to tell me we should have just been like rich kids that was able to go to college and we would have been able to but then we wouldn't need to go to college anyway.
Right. It sucks. It's a scam.
It is a scam. Don't do it. But if you do it, go and get your doctorate so then you can at least feel like you made some type of like change in your life.
But then you're going to be real woke. I mean, you ain't never going to have no peace.
Damn. Right. All right. Well, as we sit here and like spout out wokeness, let's kind of get into a definition real quick so we'll know what we're operating off the rest of the show. So, woke is a political term of Black origin which refers to a perceived awareness of issues concerning social justice and racial justice. That's from Wikipedia, the Wikipedias. You shouldn't look into that. Don't use Wikipedia if you're in college because they'll fail you. And this, we can thank the Black Lives Matter movement. I don't know if you guys know that, for like bringing the term woke into our consciousness. That terminology was around before then, but they like made it popular.
Did they?
So they did.
I'm trying to remember the first time I heard people saying it. I think I first heard people say woke in 2015. That's when I heard it. That's when I started using it. That's when I started wondering if I was woke and if everybody else was asleep or not.
Right. It's like being in the Matrix or some shit. Like, you just in that joint, and then one day they come like give you the blue or red pill. You gotta make a decision. Like, you gonna wake up or you gonna stay in this machine. I took the wrong pill, y'all. I did.
I feel like it's probably more than 2 pill choices in the Matrix, but that's none of my business. That might be me being too woke and thinking.
You gotta stop smoking that weed, bro. She out here talking about it's a purple pill. Like, ain't nobody got time.
Maybe a rainbow pill that like we didn't choose.
So you trying to...
Anyway, moving right along.
All right. So if you want more of the historical usage of the term woke, because it came back kind of like 1940, maybe even before that.
People said woke in 1940?
Yes.
That's crazy.
Yes. Marcus Garvey actually used the term woke in an article that he wrote years and years ago.
What was he talking about?
Let me see. I'm going to look. It was so the Oxford Dictionary records the early political conscious usage in 1962 in the article "If You're Woke, You Dig It" by William Melvin Kelly in the New York Times, and in the 1971 play Garvey Lives by Barry Beckham. I've been sleeping all my life, and now that Mr. Garvey done woke me up, I'm going to stay woke, and I'm not going to help him, and I'm going to help him wake up other black folk. Garvey had himself exhorted his early 20th century audiences, wake up Ethiopia, wake up Africa. So I guess that was back in the time when everybody was trying to like sail back to Africa, because they was woke.
The Back to Africa movement?
Yes, the Back to Africa movement, which honestly we should have left. We should have left, bro. Honestly.
Are you saying that because you're too woke, Sierra?
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's crazy. They was out here talking about wokeness.
They were.
Like, I don't know, 30, 40 years ago. Before Childish Gambino told us all to...
Now stay woke.
Exactly.
Niggas creeping. They gonna find you. Mavis Beacon.
Mavis.
They gonna find you. They gonna catch you sleeping. So, I guess... my first question for you guys is, how do you think social media influenced the woke movement after all of that historical stuff happened and died down?
The woke movement.
Are you woke?
Yes.
What do you think that social media did to like influence that for you?
Being woke? I don't think social media did anything.
Oh,
to
okay.
me. It gave me more incentive to be woke, but I don't think it like transcended my consciousness in any way. Like, it didn't, like, you know.
You ain't elevate plateaus and shit.
Yeah.
You ain't vibrate higher.
The chakra's been aligned. Third eye has been opened.
Oh, shit. Okay. What about you, Tiff?
No, it took me a minute for my chakras to align. What do I think social media did? It made me angry. I think most of my whole wokeness was just triggered by, like, societal stupidity and realizing that everything is dumb. And it's like you knew it was happening in the background. Like, you was kind of always surrounded by it. But I think when most of it started to seem like it was targeting people who looked like me, then I, like, got angry and I, like, woke up as a result of it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, I don't know, it kind of pushed it in my face.
Yeah.
And because I'm a social media user, it's like, you can't avoid it. I think it triggered us.
Right.
Okay.
It is triggering.
Yeah.
That's
I would
what it
agree with
is.
that.
I'd agree.
And also gives you a platform to, like, you know, voice your opinion. So that's a plus about it.
But it's also a problem
con,
when we talk
yeah.
about the wokeness, because, like, everybody got, like, a
Voicing your
word
opinion.
now.
Everybody.
And you can say anything anywhere, and that shit could go viral. But your thought could be absolute trash, and you could
Right.
have like a really dangerous viewpoint. But you could like mask it as wokeness.
Interesting. See, no, I can't say that I was woke, but I remember, like Jenna 6. I don't know, you guys remember Jenna 6?
It sounds familiar.
Jenna 6 happened, I was in high school.
The Gina 6.
Well, yeah, but they called them Jenna 6 because it was these kids that, like, I don't even know, Alabama, wherever.
Louisiana.
There you go.
It was Louisiana.
Oppression exists still, and they was out there hanging fucking black dummies on trees in high school. And these kids just got involved. I don't know. It was a long time ago, but I just remember just being so offended. I'm like, people still do this shit? Like, is this what's happening out here? Like, I'm a high school little baby, don't know what's going on. I'm offended by all of this. But I think social media, for me, the thing that I remember the most is, like, that video back in 2016, 2017, where the guy got shot by the police officer in his car and his girlfriend was filming it.
Philando
Castro. Yeah. And
Castro.
I'm like, how can you avoid it? Social media has made everything so in your face. Like, you can't, you can watch somebody die on fucking Facebook Live. Like, that's deep. I don't think we realize that enough. Like, how deep that is. Like, somebody died.
It's like it gave more options to kind of like, I don't know, trigger mental health issues. And people like you used to could just go on Facebook. It would ask you one question: "What you doing?" I'm eating chicken, and I'm on here to find out what's happening this weekend. That's it. I didn't get on here to see breaking news. I didn't get on here. That's why I stopped watching the news for exactly that reason. And now Facebook just is triggering. It's NBC10. Everybody always dying on my timeline. I didn't ask for this.
Facts.
It's like social media evolved to like kind of match the escalating shittiness in the world.
Yeah. But why? Why do you think that they've taken over this platform? Because I know for me, I personally do get my news from social media. I don't watch the news. I get my social media from my mom and fucking Facebook. Like, that's where my news comes from. My mom, Facebook. That's it. So why do we think that it's okay to post this kind of shit on Facebook?
It's like, cause they want you to know like what's happening. Like, that's the whole, I think, conversation around like being woke. Like, do you know what's happening? Do you care about it? And like, can you talk about this with other people? Like, I feel like that's what all of that is trying to do, but it's too much. It's
saturated.
Like, yeah. It could be like a lot to take in. Like, I think if we talking about like what's the trouble with being too woke, you get like tired.
It's exhausting.
You get sad about things that like really don't affect like your orbit, like your day to day, but like you gotta see people just getting killed for no reason, like
or going through some type of oppression for no reason.
Like, you can literally get traumatized because you wanted to stay informed.
But why? But why do we feel like we need this? Because there has to be some type of market of people, or there a segment of people who is.
You think it's a group of trolls?
Yeah,
that's
like they gotta
uploading
be
these videos,
uploading these videos and shit going viral so that we all know. Like, is it a necessary evil? Like, that we have this so that we are in the now, in that minute, able to see whatever crisis is going on wherever in the world? Or,
I mean, if we talking about something like police brutality, if we don't see these videos, how are we supposed to know? Like, how can you, if you decide that you like give a damn and you want to be an activist or even just like clock a problematic person, you got to know what's happening in order to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But are we doing anything with that?
Some people are.
I know
that's why we had to have a movement to remind people that our lives matter.
Well,
not that people wasn't doing that work before, but it's like, I don't know. You needed to like reignite a fire into people's ass, and it took watching like countless videos of like
people being
getting killed,
yep.
or like, I don't know,
harassed.
photos of dead bodies from courtrooms and everything like that. So that's what it is.
I'm like, on one hand, it's a necessary evil, but on the other hand, I can hide these posts on Facebook because I've become desensitized to it. So on the one hand, it could be like, yes, I'm going to go out in these streets, my fist in the air and my sign. You could also be like, this ain't nothing new. It's not going to my lifetime. I'm tired. I'm not going to look at this. I ain't going to do nothing about it.
So there's an article on the New York Times Magazine, and it's called Earning the Woke Badge. And on there, the writer says, these days it has become almost fashionable for people to telegraph just how aware they have become. And this uneasy performance has increasingly been advertised with one word: woke. Think of woke as the inverse of politically correct. If PC is a taunt from the right, a way of calling out hypersensitivity in political discourse, then woke is a backpat from the left, a way of affirming the sensitive. It means wanting to be considered correct and wanting everyone to know just how correct you are. So do we think that this has gotten out of hand? Like, the fact that people are woke, like the different plateaus that you can reach? Why are there levels to wokeness?
Because there's levels to this shit.
But why?
Because we stupid.
Hey, that's
because we stupid. We've like, I don't know, made everything competition. I mean, think about the way social media operates. You go on there and you watching like mostly filtered images, and you like looking at people highlight reels Like, we putting that picture on here because low key, we want Susie Q to know that she's not as cute as me.
So we compete.
We like to compete. We like to compete with people that we don't know. We like to compete with our opinions on ideas that we know nothing about. I don't know. Somehow it just has turned into like who is, you know, the most in the know, who got the loudest opinion. Mm-hmm. I don't know why it's turned into that. Like, I think social consciousness in and of itself is supposed to be a good thing, but we like kind of turned it into a spectacle.
Mm-hmm. A spectacle.
A spectacle.
A spectacle.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the joke?
Because everybody want to be seen and heard.
To be woke. Is it a joke now?
I don't know. Do you think it's a joke, Kelly?
I don't think it's a joke, but I feel like people are false claiming woke a lot. Mm-hmm. Y'all niggas are suspects. By niggas, I mean people. So, like, I just don't understand how 1 second someone can claim woke when something is happening to a certain set of people, but when something is happening to another set of people, people are just like, well, what do you expect? I don't get it.
Like, how can you be woke in one area, but then
like you can't,
still got your eyes closed?
Right, you just can't be, especially as a black person. And I feel like we have our own struggles and our plight is enough. Mm-hmm. Sometimes, rightfully so. But a black person can't be woke and not give a fuck about like shit that's going on in Syria and stuff like that. Like, you can't
be impossible. Homophobic. You can't be transphobic.
I hate that.
Don't be any phobic. Yeah. Like, just don't be any.
You can't be. So
you can't claim woke if you a homophobe.
You can't. You're not woke.
No. Why?
Why are you a homophobe? First of all, you're not scared of gay people. Second of all, like,
how are you home somebody?
Jumping out the bushes? Fuck, like
Kelly Daly jumping out the bushes.
I just start jumping out the bushes with rainbow suspenders. No, but you can't be. If you can't understand how someone could be under the umbrella of LGBTQ, then like, how are you woke? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Just like, especially if you're black, right? Like, you can't go from one struggle to this struggle, but not understand someone else's struggle. Mm-hmm. Same way these black men are getting killed in the street, these trans women of color are being killed in the street. Mm-hmm. But you don't give a fuck about that. They're still black though.
But why don't we?
Because they're trans and people fear what they don't understand.
So can we say
that level 3 wokeness? Yeah, that's where the levels come in at. Yeah. If your consciousness lacks intersectionality, try again. You got some more studying, some more reading to do before you out here like streaming the streets for like one cause, right, and not all of them.
Right. And I say the same thing for white people, especially white people who are LGBTQ. Like, you can't like give a fuck about gay rights, but not give a fuck about gay people of color. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, it. I don't know. You can't be gay and racist. That's stupid. Mm-hmm. Like, how are you gay and racist? That's just dumb. You can be, of course you can, but I just think that's like, what?
like that gets into like allyship. I remember going to some like community talk like literally the day after the like 2016 election.
Was that when we elected Trump?
It was.
It feels like
that was 2016, ago. Right?
God damn.
That's when it was. And I went to like a discussion, and it was all women. I was the only black woman there, and there was like a Latina woman. And there was a white attendee who was talking about, you know, how upset and, you know, hurt she was by a lot of the, like, xenophobic comments that Trump was making, a lot of his, like, you know, anti-immigration stances. And she was like, you know, but, like, after xenophobia, she was like, you know, but what really bothered me was his thoughts on sexual assault. And I just kind of looked at her like, because she mentioned, like, all these other kind of, like, outrages, but, like, she kind of positioned the one that was most important to her at the top, and like didn't really address anything else. Mm-hmm. She was like, I don't know, selectively woke, and like her like allyship had holes in it. Yeah, so I think that's where you like get into the conversation about levels.
Yeah, like you can't. I wouldn't even consider someone who's not like at least level. What is level 1?
You have identified the problem. Yes. Like, you know, I feel like you know that it's happening and you care. that is happening. Like, that's level 1. Step 1 to being woke. You identify the problem and you invest in it.
So what's step 2?
Step 2, you got to talk about it. But I could be like, I just saw a black man down the street. That's crazy. I'm so sad that happened. And then keep that to myself. Like, I'm still at level 1 at that point. Level 2, I need to be talking about it. If social media is the easiest way for me to talk multiple people and reach who I don't know, probably reach a bunch of problematic people.
Right.
Because I'm trying to talk to them. That's step 2.
What's step 3?
I don't know. I don't know all the steps.
Well,
I'm not
she
the
ain't making the
gatekeeper.
step 3 then.
Exactly.
Maybe
I'm still at step 2.
I think step 3 is speaking out and speaking up about multiple social issues, and being aware and like comfortable enough in yourself where you can do so without fear of persecution. I think that might be step 3.
You might always be afraid of persecution.
It's like realizing that it's problems within the problem.
Right.
Like, are you able to unpack it? We like to unpack things.
Even Martin Luther King said, I fear that I'm integrating my people into a burning building. So he was woke enough to realize that, hey, this shit might not work. For real. And that's deep. Because you are, like, to most people, the leader of the civil rights movement. Of course, we know that a lot of other people had just as big as a role as he did. But, like, he's like the face of the situation. So
I think we need a face now. And I feel like that's probably why the traction of the Black Lives Matter movement hasn't reached this plateau. Now, we know how those faces end up, which is probably why there is no one standing up and saying, I am the face of this movement. But I think that's probably what this is lacking a bit. That there is no one who is like out in the forefront driving the people and the masses.
I mean, do you feel that
we
way
always
about,
need a leader?
Do you feel that way about other movements? Because there are lots of movements happening right now. Like, what's the face of, like, you know, the trans movement? Like, who's the face of that?
Caitlyn Jenner?
it's supposed to be.
It's supposed to be.
But it's not. I think Laverne Cox.
Laverne
Cox is the official face or the unofficial. I don't know if we can.
We don't remember.
It's like
she does speak up.
Yeah, it's like can these movements like the trans movement have a face? Like, it's like when you're literally targeted for existing. Like, it takes some kind of bravery for, like, somebody to step up and be like, I'm gonna be the mouthpiece, like, through which this, like, activism is channeled.
Right. So I think that I actually became aware, because, like, racism in America seemed like a dream to me. And I got to talk about it for, like, 2.5 seconds. Because I never experienced it. Like, I remember when I was, maybe, like, 9 years old, and my brother went away to Bryn Mawr or Villanova, somewhere in the burbs, and one of the little white boys called him a nigger, and then he beat the shit out of him, and then we had to, like, go get him up from the school and shit, and my dad was, like, in tears, because he's like, I didn't think that my son would have to go through this kind of stuff in, like, the early 2000s. And I'm like a little kid, so I'm like, beep boop. I don't know what this is. I don't know what this means. Beep boop.
Power up.
Like, whatever. So to, like, you know, transition now, Trump is about to be elected for president. All of, like, support Trump signs out on people's lawns and shit. And I'm like, yo, it's really a lot of hateful people in this world, and, like, right in Pennsylvania, and, like, right around the corner from where we live. And I'm, like, driving to school one day, and some white man called me the N-word through his window. And I was like, yo, like, this shit is real. Like, all this time, like, now I gotta go beep boop. I'm ready to go whip some ass, because I know how my family feels. I know how my dad feels. I did not know this existed. So now I think that's when I woke up, like, for real. Like, I thought I was awake beforehand, and I was outraged and, like, slavery, how did that happen? But that's when the button turned on for me, and I was like, yo, there's really a lot of stuff out here that we really don't recognize as true.
Right. And things that have been happening.
But it was like a veil. It was like a curtain.
Right. Especially microaggressions. Like, you ever just sit back on your life and be like, damn, I wish I would have said something back then. I do this shit all the time. Most recently, it was actually yesterday. I was at work yesterday, and one of my coworkers, who shall remain nameless, said something on the grounds of two African American names being the same anyway. They sound the same anyway. Shit. Because she confused one girl with the other girl. Like, same thing. I'm like,
because
that's a microaggression. It's 1,000 Megans in this bitch, but I don't say that shit. I describe the Megan I'm talking about, Megan. So, like, I don't, like, come on, you can't do that shit. Like, that's a microaggression. Yeah. That's crazy.
the same way that people act like they can't pronounce, I don't know, Shaniqua. I hate to be that guy, but a name like that. But your last name is like Marja Jakowski,
or they'll go to
Savanovitz or something,
right? Or they'll go see Black
and then
Panther.
they love to tell you and be like, "It's Russian." I don't give a fuck.
Or they'll go see Black Panther, bro.
Like, my name not from here either. Why are you having difficulty with it? I'm confused.
You can't pronounce Tyrone without the E, which is Tyron.
Or they'll go see Black Panther and be like, "Oh, you mean T'Challa and Shuri?" Like, okay, M'Baku, but you out here not being able to
You can't pronounce. I don't know. What's a good black name?
Dijonay.
Dijonay.
You be like, "Oh, you mean Dijon?" Like, that's not that girl name. Why you say that? Why are you calling her this?
Or shit, like,
They just want to make
or something
up.
like that.
I'm just
No
gonna
shade
give
to
you
I'm just gonna call you Sarah because that makes me feel comfortable.
It's like, I remember, like, when I used to be, I think in high school, we had like a pretty solid Asian population of students. And, you know, when everybody got introduced, they stuff, you know, you get that index card, and you gotta write 3 things about you and break the ice that you don't care about breaking. And somebody is like, my name is, I don't know, I'm not gonna take it there. But someone has some really beautiful, you know, complex on the tongue Asian name, but they're like, you can just call me Ellen. I'm like, that's not your name got like a smooth 7 syllables to it, but you telling people to call you Ellen because you just know that, like, people gonna mess up your name.
Because they take the part out of the name that'll make most sense. Kind of like Wale. Like, Wale's name is really long, but you just call him
But
Wale.
it's like, in high school, I didn't realize the reasoning behind them needing to do that. But I know that now because of wokeness or whatever.
Because you woke up.
Because and I don't want people making fun of their names. Like,
Yeah.
It felt like, I think for our generation, we had like maybe a smooth period of time. Like, things was happening with Clinton, but we had like a smooth, well, okay, Bush was problematic, but for us, we had like a smooth,
He was just a dumbass.
we had like a smooth decade where not too much was happening. Stuff was shitty, Hurricane Katrina, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But like, we wasn't actively.
Oh, Kanye.
Yeah, we
George Bush don't care about black people.
and
Never
his
forget.
George Bush intern called him Kanye.
Never forget.
Kanye was pre-woke. He was
Mr. King.
He was woke
And
then
people
in
thought
like
you
05.
seen him
Care about
skitzing
black
out
people.
during that video when he was sitting there at that damn, what was that? They were trying to raise money for Katrina.
It's like a telethon or
Oh,
something.
yeah.
So
Something.
he
George
was
Bush
ready,
don't
like
care
he
about
wanted
black
to say
people.
it. He knew, like, I'm not gonna follow the script. All right, fuck it. George Bush doesn't care about black people.
I mean, he was right.
Yeah, he was
Most
right.
presidents don't care about black people.
He was ahead of the curve and wokeness. I think.
Idols. I hate them.
So he probably, that's why he's
love
in
him.
pain now.
True,
Homeboy
I
ain't been
believe
awake
it.
for a while. He's suffering. Like, he's suffering. I get it.
So how do you practice self-care as like a woke person?
Bro. So there's this article on the HuffPost. It's 5 signs you may be too woke for your own good. May be too woke. So these are the signs, Tiffany, and Kelly, if you were trying to figure this out. Food stresses you out. You haven't eaten chicken in 2 months, or people think you haven't, thanks to the Netflix documentary called What the Health? You have sworn never to eat chicken and fast food again. Your spiritual center is out of whack. You believe in God, but your relationship is secret. You are afraid to offend people. Therefore, your relationship with God is not evident. You're bored. You don't know what to do on Sundays since you no longer attend church and you are boycotting football. Shout out to Colin Kaepernick. You have nothing to do on Sundays. Your wokeness has caused a rift in some of your relationships, and even the easiest day of the week has become the most confusing. You believe everything is Trump's fault.
Because it is.
I mean, it is.
No, the people who voted, it's their fault. Trump is just he's just
symptom.
he's a symptom.
He's
He's
a
not the
symptom.
cause. He's just a symbol. He's not actually running the operation. Like,
He's just, you live long enough to see
like
yourself become the villain.
He's the face of his movement.
White power.
The Make America Great movement.
White power. Deep down, from an intellectual standpoint, you know better, but your emotions lead you back to him every time. The truth is that lots of things are his fault, but not everything. You say the number 45 at least every day, whether verbally in your head or via your Facebook status.
I didn't even know that was his number. Like, I just try not to talk about him.
I try not to talk about him. I'm like,
not his name, not his number.
I'm surprised everything isn't more fucked up than it. Like, I'm just like, I'm astounded.
I don't think he can't keep a team together long enough to really do us in.
Well, that's
because they got a rotating door at the White House right now. It's just a revolving door.
Well, I was just like, people.
You come in to work, you out the next day. I'm roasting.
Well, you remember he hired, well, I don't know, did you hear about this story where he hired some like 20-year-old who had never had a job but like lied on his application? And he was like the administrator for like finance or some shit.
We about to do that. We about to send me into the White House as a decoy.
I'm done. She about to practice a coup or some shit. Like, Black Lives Matter. You feel lost. If you are really honest with yourself, you feel a little lost in the sauce. You are not quite sure how it happened, but before you woke up, there was something groundbreaking that you were working on. You were either going back to school, starting a business, or learning French. So you know how you can do all of this and recover? There's some recovery steps you can do if you're like, have symptoms of these 5 steps.
If you are weary of the wave of the
self-care,
world.
You want to practice some self-care? It is a great time in society. There is a paradigm shift happening, and even the solar eclipse was a sign that there is an alignment happening throughout the universe. The old systemic walls of racism, sexism, and homophobia are being torn down. Are they?
No. That's why we tired from being woke. Like, because we having to fight things that I wish would have gotten taken care of 200 years ago.
You mean if we had stayed in Africa? They ain't snatch us.
Well,
snatch up us for our babies.
I think that's when our troubles started.
Probably. The troubles did kind of start when he stole us off the ship.
Off the ship.
Oh, you shouldn't have. Should have just stayed home. I mean, like, it was like that was a good day to stay home from school. Like, you should have just like not went. Like,
fuck that. Fuck no.
I'm gonna eat my troubles and I have started because my like great grandmother went out to play,
and then
they just took her. Like,
I mean, that's how you saw Get Out. He shouldn't know he was on the wrong neighborhood at the wrong time, and then they put a white man in his brain. So he should have stayed in his hood, and he wouldn't have got snatched.
I mean, do you wish that you didn't know the things that you?
I mean, ignorance is bliss, but I mean. No.
I think ignorance is also dangerous.
Very dangerous.
Because you can be compelled into anything if you're ignorant.
Mm-hmm.
At least now, even though it's painful, you know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Or have some type of like semi-understanding of what's going on. Even if you aren't completely woke, you understand that like, if I'm at a club and with my black friends and some like white person comes over and they're like, oh my God, I love your hair. Can I touch it? And you're like, in your veil, like, oh man, that's so nice. She just wants to be friendly, but like in real life, you're like, oh nah, bitch, this ain't a Brillo pad. You can't just rub it your way. Like, get out of my face. So, I think you're like playing with those two parts of yourself all the time, right before you open your eyes like a baby.
Should we have like action steps behind our wokeness? Like, if you like, you know what, this is it. If I got to see one more man die on my timeline, it's over. Like, should you become an activist at that point? Like, do you need to be somebody who's actively working towards, like, finding a solution?
I feel like one of the best forms of activism is being active amongst the people you are forced to be in contact with every day.
Mm.
Like, politely checking people when you can. Like, don't do it like, oh, on some ignorant type shit. But, you know, just slide that in like, hey, no, we don't have time for that. HR is your friend. HR is your friend. Also, I mean, just in general, like, even if you in your group of friends, like, because if I heard someone saying something that was totally insensitive to another culture, I would check them. I'm like, that's not cool. I check adults, I am an adult, but I check adults like that all the time. Like I might giggle it off, but I'm like, just to let you know, like if this wasn't me, someone would have had an attitude for X, Y, and Z. So I understand where you're coming from because you didn't know, and I'm going to tell you in a polite way, but everyone's not me. So I feel like if you're scared to be like in your face, like boobs out,
free the nipple,
free the nipple activist, or just even scared to like, because I guess being in the mix of everything, especially like for the fight of like police brutality, people are scared that they're going to be harmed. Yeah. So if you don't want to be in the forefront of the action, but if you still want to help out, take that baby steps like that, and you're still helping out, and you don't even know. Also, I just want people to just be a little bit more sensitive of everyone's struggle and not just one struggle, like we were talking about in the beginning of the show. It helps just to like change the way you act as a person.
I'm like, that goes for everybody. Like,
read up on stuff, discover things you didn't know, talk to people, and
I'm like, don't just be out here like screaming at Susie Q because she making fun of like the way Cardi B speaks or ask to touch your hair. Right. Be mad at like, I don't know, your uncle. Have a conversation with like your aunt and the people that you see, right. Still calling like other groups of people or like, I think, using derogatory remarks about like gay people or differently abled people or fat people. Like,
right. Especially fat people. I gotta check that.
Yeah, they be out here disrespecting us. Yeah. We can't help it. I like cheeseburgers. I'm fine. I just been eating turkey burgers now.
I'm woke. My burger choice. Put some vegetables on it.
Right. I got some spinach on it now instead of bacon.
Don't even change the meat. Just make it cultured. Like put some.
Here you go.
Foie gras on it or something.
Talk about vegans. Like, vegans.
I want to talk.
And I'm tired of y'all vegan agenda too. Bro, don't be trying to push your veganism on everyone. Everybody doesn't want to be vegan.
Always operate from a place of education and not conversion.
Yeah. Well, if they had did that, we would have still been in Africa.
Just don't push your lifestyle
and not practicing Christianity. What?
Jesus.
Right. Shout out to the Lord though. He blessed me this week.
This Sunday it is the Lord's day.
Blessed to me.
Or whatever.
But yeah. And don't be judgmental on what people do choose to worship. So.
Well, that's going to take a lot of
education. You could have your own beliefs on it, but don't like persecute people for it. Like the Hebrew Israelites that be downtown screaming with the yo, they be sending all y'all to damnation.
I mean, according to them, we all should have been in hell a long time ago. So
I think that like true wokeness goes beyond just being like, hey, these social issues is happening. Again, it's something like checking the way you talk to people about like a certain lifestyle and like a certain religion. I'm like, you always need to operate from the place of people have options and like your way isn't the only way.
Because so you can't go to the gay march and then hold up a flag that said all fags are going to hell because that's not very godlike.
That's not at all.
So yeah, I'm like, what? Like that makes no sense.
So I was going to ask the question. It's
like, how you out here riding for Jesus, but you out here
right slurs? I'm like, there's a slur on that, sir.
Okay.
So is wokeness not relegated to just black people then?
No.
Yeah,
No. I feel like we got a lot to fight for and fight about right now, but like everybody could do what it do. So like waking up and figuring out what the fuck is happening around you
gotta wake up.
And how you might be complicit in it.
Yeah.
I feel like black people want to be so woke, but aren't woke at all. Still have sleep.
She throwing out shots. Like,
I mean,
same thing.
We still consider black women to be at the bottom of the pool.
Right.
Well,
black women still performing emotional labor.
Right. I think black women are the most woke people.
That's why we're in so much pain.
Because we've seen enough, we've been through enough, and we carry everything. So
for everybody,
no matter what, it's exhausting. Very, very much so.
Yeah.
But yeah. But that goes to everyone. Just be conscious of what you're doing.
So what about Black Twitter?
I like Black Twitter when it's entertaining. I don't like Black Twitter when they just like say everything is racist or say everything is cultural appropriation or say everything or miss the things that actually are. That's my problem with Black Twitter. Other than that, yeah, I think Black Twitter is a good thing. but everyone involved in Black Twitter isn't. Like, you know.
Yeah.
Like some people are bandwagoners.
Yeah.
Bandwagon wokeness.
Yeah, being woke is trending.
Yeah.
Like, it's cute to, like, I don't know, wear Bantu knots and go listen to Shea Butter, Neo Soul, and talk about how woke you are on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. But
then you like sitting in your house.
You frauding. Yeah. No, you frauding. Like,
chilling. Like,
you frauding or you just don't really care about those things. You just care about it because some person that you follow on one of these social media sites is cool and you want to be like them. Not knowing that they actually been like this since, I don't know, 93. And been in the midst of everything.
So it's like, can you trust these people? Like, if someone comes to you, how do you know if they're genuine when they're like, you know what, I actually never realized that this thing was happening. I am now all about this thing. I want to fight this thing. Versus somebody who just, like, put their head wrap on and, like, they now carry, I don't know, citrine crystals around with
because
them.
they're cute. Yeah.
Like,
all this stuff is.
It's like, how do we know that, like, someone is authentically invested in this, like, social cause? Even if it did take them a minute to come around to it.
I mean, you see when the trends shift. Like, that's the only way you can know. Like, you see someone who totally flipped everything they're used to when trends are. I'm not saying it's not okay to learn about stuff and then, like, get into it and become invested. But make sure you're into it and invested in it, not because you've seen something cool on social media. Or, like, all your friends is doing it and just be a follower. Because that's kind of detrimental to the culture.
Or because it's, like, getting a lot of press. Like,
yeah,
I need to see you talking about police brutality year-round.
Right, like...
Not when there's a new video up.
Right.
Something like that. Okay.
Like, this is happening. We need to stop it. Or I didn't forget. You know, like, every once in a while, you just drop a Flint's water is still dirty. I didn't forget. Like, also, I was just checking on y'all, make sure y'all still on board. Like, that's it. Something else happened that way, too. Like, everyone kind of just forgot about it or kind of went to the wayside.
Standing Rock.
That, and it was something else.
I remember.
Actually, when you said the Gina 6, people forgot about that.
Never forget.
And a couple other things.
It's like we like to be upset when it's like breaking news, and then we just kind of like rest, and then we come back at like the next like socially unjust.
Just
thing.
know,
or even things like the whole R. Kelly scandal. Like people like to forget about things because he made bump and grind.
When we like up, he might be using people as slaves as recently as right now. He was always doing this. He been doing this since y'all was stepping in the name of love. It ain't go nowhere.
Yeah, he was.
But we needed this article.
Pedophile.
Since he was back and forth and with
I remember all of this
So,
shit.
yeah.
Let's not pretend like Casey Anthony mom ain't out here.
Yeah. It's like you
That's
can't just be
the
mad at
man
these
that killed
things while they're
Trayvon
happening.
Brown.
Trayvon
Trayvon Martin.
Michael Brown, they
They got see
that's the problem. All these
George
things start to
Zimmerman
run
went on
into
to
each other.
commit more crimes. I just want to let you know that he like got shot, threatened to shoot someone, beat up his wife. I'm like, how long ago was that? And you did all this, and I'm just like, the fuck is wrong with y'all?
Let's not forget Emma too. I still remember.
I wasn't even there.
And the motherfuckers confessed to it right after the damn trial.
And the was it on her deathbed? The lady that
She's still alive. I think she died. She's still alive.
I think she just recently died.
or something like that. I read the article and I was like, I can't remember if the article said like she just died or like this was written before she died.
Right.
Yeah. But
she literally
she
came
felt
out.
bad. Like I didn't know. I'm like, you didn't know that they were going to do that to that boy in down Mississippi.
She came out
1950s.
just recently and said, "Oh yeah, no, he never even said nothing."
Right.
This happened in 2017 last year. She's still alive, yo.
Oh,
Crazy.
Okay. Well, she needs
I was
to be.
like,
Meaning she had plenty of time to wake the fuck up.
she woke up like what 60 years later and shit.
right.
His mom probably did.
His mom is dead.
Is she?
Yeah, Mamie still died.
Wow.
She died in like 2000. I want to say like 5 or 6. She died a couple of years back.
I mean, come on. I remember.
It's crazy as shit.
That's the key to being woke. Remembering.
Forgiving but not forgetting, and it's not technically forgiven. Just know that you're not going to treat us like
I
this
see
anymore.
you. It's just like it's like when you woke, you just gotta be out here watching. Everybody got like one eye open.
They think we forgot that Trump is still the president and that he.
I didn't even forget that Justin Timberlake said all lives matter, so I don't forget nothing.
You know what I
I'm
wish I would have been more woke about in that regard, and maybe lots of people of color needed to have been watching out for Middle America.
We forgot about.
It's like we forgot that there are rural, poor white people.
But see, that's the thing. That's the veil. The veil. There's a veil there. And I don't think that we saw it. We thought, oh, like, this shit hunky-dory. Like, you know, our generation especially.
I mean, we was post-Obama, so we thought things was like,
but I knew. I fucking knew. And I always remember this. I knew in high school that it was some racist ass white motherfuckers that lived in South Philly. I went to it was a new high school, and they opened up in 2006, and I graduated in 2010. And when Obama was running for president, it was these like 3 or 4 white people sitting in the background while we was having Obama pep rallies, looking all like, yeah, no, we want John McCain to be president. I seen you motherfuckers. I saw y'all. I remember. I ain't gonna name no names.
I don't even know high school kids was like. I know like black kids was like, oh, we would love to see a black president, but niggas was really worried about.
We was out here
Democratic and Republican parties.
I couldn't vote.
Like I can't vote for him yet, but that's cool, I guess.
Nice cold. It was just like one person that I ain't just shall remain nameless as well, who was in high school with us at that time when he ran and he could vote. So he was old, and we was in like 10th grade. So let's just, you put that together. That man was like 18 and we was like 15 years old. But whatever.
I was just out here trying to drink an ice cold clear fruit.
Motherfuckers. We was out here having pep rallies
right, in high school. Because I was woke because I was in college when, you know, Obama was running. But when, who was that? I was in high school when fucking, it was Bush versus, what was
Gore?
No, not Gore. I think I was in, middle school when was Bush Gore, or elementary school or something like that. What the fuck is his name? I forgot his name. It's going to come to mind. But I was in high school during that. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. And during the Katrina and stuff like that. Yeah, the second Bush term. That's when I was in high school. I graduated in 06. Okay. So, by the time all the Obama stuff, I was just like, oh, yeah. I'm super woke. But back then, I was just like, what?
Juice? What juice I'm going to get today? I was like prancing around South Street with my ex-boyfriend at the time.
I was still out there saving the world though, because I did do a lot of community service and shit. So I was aware of what was going on in my community and how it was fucked up. But as far as politics went, I had no clue how it worked. Even though you learn it in school, but it's kind of just one ear and not the other. Yeah. Because they don't drill it into you. You kind of just have to learn about it on your own.
I mean, that's all it is, honestly.
They just give you, unless you was watching Schoolhouse Rock or something. Join about the government.
I'm just a bill, and I'm only a bill, and I'm sitting here on cat for the
Schoolhouse Rock was kind of
so we need to bring it back because we need some show to like get the children.
Put Cardi B on Schoolhouse Rock.
Oh God,
do it now.
No, save
Cardi
song.
B and Beyonce.
Well, I mean, you know, Beyonce has sparked the fire in all of us. How do we feel about celebrities and like wokeness? Do we think that we need them to stir us up?
Sometimes.
But why? Why can't we just be awake by ourselves? Why we gotta like let them focus You remember the backlash she got for her like halftime like performance?
When she was wearing a fedora and when she did Formation.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. She got a lot of flack for that video too.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
By people of New Orleans because of the Katrina references.
Okay. Yeah.
She got a lot of flack about that. So I mean,
appropriate in their struggle.
I mean, she from New Orleans. I mean, she not from New Orleans. Her mama is, but she understood what was going on. And the video was very like politically charged. So it was literally a boy dancing in a hoodie.
It was the most charged we've ever seen Beyonce.
Yeah. So like,
because Beyonce herself,
she make it subtle, but she makes it fly.
Yeah.
But the statement is very profound. So
do we need them as an ally?
Yes.
For like regular Jews.
Yeah. Even Jay-Z was a part of the Obama. Jay-Z never voted in his life. He voted for Obama and was campaigning in the hood. They did like I remember they was down in North Philly.
We need
like these people.
So where were
these people are aspirational.
But where
figures.
were these you know high powered celebrities when we was trying to get Trump to not be our fucking president?
They was out here.
Around. Yeah, no one cared because middle white America came through and was like, "It is what it is. Fuck y'all. We had enough of this Obama shit. Fuck Hillary too. The emails. What's in them emails?" Didn't that bitch like order pizza on like a company card or something? Why didn't we vote Hillary?
But they don't. Nobody knows because she has a vagina. That's why we didn't vote for her.
Their plight was more powerful.
Hill Dog just came out.
Beyonce could have said to stop people.
No, because I know a lot of black men And I'm gonna call y'all the fuck out right now. That was like, I ain't gonna vote. It don't matter. I ain't gonna vote.
I heard black women who didn't vote. Yeah. I'm friends with people who didn't vote.
I'm friends with people who didn't vote. I'm related to motherfuckers that didn't vote. Mm-hmm. How dare you? This is why we are where we are now. How dare you?
Or are they just tired because they knew that things was going to end up the way they did?
But if they had not, Middle America knew that they was about to slide through. So how come we didn't know that they was fitting to slide through?
Because we forgot about them more when you're white.
We believed in Obama.
we thought people was going to come through. Like, oh, they're not this crazy to vote this guy in. And then like, oh.
That's why, because people gave the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah. We had a little
We still thought that because
Obama high.
We thought everything was like good and gravy.
The back end of the Obama high. And
I was like, no, the trend must continue. He was he broke the spell.
Yeah.
It's only up from here.
All they want to vote for Hillary. Because she said super predators a long time ago.
Oh, shit.
Super predators. But Hillary Clinton actually just came out and said black women are like the strongest people ever. Mm-hmm. Where'd she say that at?
She right. I don't know.
Yeah, she's right. And I don't think she's doing, because people were like, oh, she doing this for something. I'm like, why? She lost. She's not doing it for nothing. I just think she's genuine.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe
she was genuine before,
maybe
too.
She woke up. Maybe she like fucked up.
I mean, again, you can sit here and be a political person for your entire life and make fucking mistakes, because we all make mistakes. Mm-hmm. And I know we're supposed to like hold them to a higher standard, but we obviously fucking don't, because Donald Trump was on goddamn Celebrity Apprentice and now he's our president. Right. So we obviously don't give a shit what these people saying.
Telling Dionne Warwick and Audrey O'Day.
This man's, you talking about emails, he literally was like, oh, I be out here grabbing bitches by the pussy. So you obviously don't give a shit what these people, don't bring up super predators.
Sex tape?
He got a sex tape.
What's her name? Stormy Weather or something? What's her name? Rainy Cloud. Like, what's her name? Stormy Daniels.
Raindrop.
That's her name.
Raindrop drops up.
Ain't none of his laws from here. Ain't he xenophobic?
Yeah.
Don't you got a problem when people ain't from here? You not from here. Wasn't the like first Trump German or something? Like what?
They all was.
Like y'all had to sail over here as well.
Yeah,
I don't understand.
Everyone got here. Now, what you did when you got here or how you got here, it's the tricky part.
I mean, if you came over here and made yourself the majority, then you going to sit here.
You just came over here and made yourself comfortable. Just raped and pillaged.
Raped, pillaged, infected. Like, raped. Infected.
Talk about infections. Smallpox and all that.
All of it. I'm blankets. I'll never forget. I remember. See, I'm woke.
I remember. Shout out to all my Native American brothers and sisters.
I remember. They still ain't recovered from that shit.
I'm like, we need to be investing more in their plight. I'm like,
yeah,
we
still have the fuck out of here.
Was Standing Rock? I remember.
Yeah. Like, we still have natives and indigenous peoples here, and they're actually, if we're gonna talk about the bottom of the bottom, they are socially at the bottom. One, because people don't know that they're still alive.
Like there's some.
I'm like, and not even to crack a joke, but like, if history, like my textbooks literally said that like 90% of y'all got wiped out. I'm like, that's not true, and they still have like they haven't been right ever since. Black people have been able to rebound a little bit, been able to recover.
Yeah, they've been able to
a little bit. I'm like
reservations, to say the least. Like, I mean, that's crazy.
Like, you literally people created a place to corral.
Yeah, and so you won't have to. Like,
you ain't gotta deal with them.
Fuck with them. Yeah,
I mean, it's the same damn thing. It's the way that they portray like Africans or Americans to Africans or people in a different country. Like, oh yeah, you come here, everything fucking Hollywood. Let me tell you. And then they come here, they're like, this shit.
This how y'all living? This Kensington.
Oh God, don't even bring up Kensington. Please don't.
That's the center of the opioid crisis, but we won't get it. Another thing.
Opioid, never forget. All right.
Never forget, because crack.
Be woke about everything.
There wasn't no safe house.
Don't ever
crack.
sleep. Like,
so this is where you get the hyper wokeness comes into play.
Because it wasn't no safe houses for crack.
Because it wasn't no safe houses for crack.
Wasn't no safe houses.
It's like you wake up and you can't have a day where you ain't thinking about like a problem.
Hyper wokeness. It's painful. Like, you probably need to go to therapy for that.
I think, especially if you're doing the work, like if you out here in these streets and on these grounds and you like fighting for something.
Because you already said about your own broke ass life. And I'm sad for everybody's broke ass life.
Get you some good mental health support.
Right. I don't know what happened. I thought I was here. I was about to say something. Mark came in. Mark's here too. Mark's here on this podcast too, guys.
Mark's always
Mark is
around.
our producer, y'all.
Yeah.
They never met Mark, but
Because I'm always talking to Mark.
He's
on
around.
Vocal Culture, but I'm like, Mark is also here.
So now you know he is the man behind the screen and shit on every show.
It scared me earlier when
We
I came out of the
are
bathroom. I was like, what
going to move on to our question segment, but I don't think anyone submitted a question or an answer to my question that I posted on our social media. So don't do that next time. I want to hear from you guys.
Mm-hmm.
So for this one, I'll just say let's leave a random thought about wokeness.
Can I ask you all a question?
Yeah.
sure.
What do y'all think about hoteps?
Oh God.
I think that's faux wokeness. Photeps. I mean, in essence, hotepery, like the point of hotepery was very much like to be someone who believes in like black excellence. So kind of funneling money back into black owned businesses. I think, do they talk about healthy eating? I think genuine hoteps are very much just wanted to see like black people, utilize natural resources, support each other or whatever. And then it somehow evolved into like being mad at everybody who eat pork.
Corn.
Like having very particular thoughts about like women you mad at they weaves and they wigs. And you want everybody to be out
I
here.
like weaves and I like
Homosexuality didn't exist in Africa.
Exactly. You believe there's a gay agenda.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Because the gays
wasn't
are
at the
coming
meeting.
for everybody. Like,
They gonna find you. Catch you
Stay
sleeping.
like who's the face of the gay agenda? Who do y'all think is out here? Why are you so afraid?
Tasha Call.
Like, do you,
Tasha Call. Like, who's the face? RuPaul, who's the face of the gay agenda?
I'm confused. If you've never wanted to bump uglies with somebody who got the same uglies as you, then you're not gay. Relax.
Make the beast with two
Unless they really are gay
That's a whole nother.
and they in the closet and shit about it. Or on the keep it on the down low.
Is it like a form of hypermasculinity then? How do you feel about hypermasculinity?
I think the loudest hoteps are usually black men.
Who are
Hoteps
hypermasculine?
who participate in hyper and toxic masculinity. Like you're out here still oppressing women. You out here waiting for the agenda to get you. You like complaining about, I don't know, capitalism. You working 9 to 5 just like I do. So
Sit that
you
ass
two are
down, boy.
upon relax. Like
You fuck with everything that James Baldwin says until you find out he was gay.
Like, you want everybody to go
I don't get
vegan,
it.
and now you iron deficient and hungry all the time because you ain't do it the right way. But you mad
out
at
here
me.
giving these niggas bars.
You iron deficient. Like,
you
but you
iron
mad at me because I like a medium well steak and my iron levels is stable. Like,
This lean meat.
You know what?
sorry, I had to get that out. My
She had obviously
had to
hit
get
it in
that
her
out.
soul.
Like within, like intra-culturally, we need to be doing better about the conversations that we have, and we need to stop giving uninformed opinions. That's just my thought on that.
And I'll let her wrap that up. So, this has been the Get Your Life Project.
That's at GYLP.
At Get YLP.
Because maybe that's why y'all didn't answer our question.
Because they forgot.
For this day, that you didn't know where to find us, and that's okay. We're not mad at you because now you know better.
Now you know.
So you're gonna do better.
So you're going
right?
to get your life
exactly
on the Get Your Life Project.
and you're gonna get us.
And
you're gonna get us at Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Yep.
And you're gonna get into this conversation at hashtag Gets
What?
YLP
Hey.
and hashtag Pod In, and that's where you're gonna find us.
Find me.
And other lovely marginalized, minoritized groups of people who are woke.
And talking to you.
Factuals. Thank you guys for having me. This was dope.
We liked having
Thanks for
you.
coming back.
Not a problem,
We
man.
appreciate all your
we
conversations.
like having guests.
Yes.
It's going to be some good conversations in season 2. I'm excited.
Season 2 is amazing.
It is. Even though, we still without a Beyonce and a Michelle, but
It's all right.
We had a Kelly Beck.
We had a Kelly back.
Okay.
Motivation.
So just know, you two can come back to our show.
We like having you here.
Yes, please.
You need to get your life as much as we do.
Yes.
So there you go.
You want to sing us out or say something random?
She clearing her throat, y'all. We ready. She might drop bars.
I am all that in a dime sack. Where the paper at? Christopher the Notorious B.I.G. Wallace.
Baby. All right.